Hey, what's up YouTube? Houston here. For those of you just finding my YouTube channel, welcome. Please remember to hit that subscribe button and that bell. And for those of you that's been following me and supporting me, salute. And for my favorite patrons, always double salute. Now, today's video, we're going to be talking about the best high limit business credit card. And we're going to talk about a credit card that's always given a high limit. They have a waiting list. There's a credit card, they always give high limits, but they're so backed up they actually got a waiting list. Okay, and then we're going to also talk about a few of the high limit business credit cards you can get even if you have bad credit. All right, so let's jump right into this. Now, here's the thing about it. When you're dealing with high limit credit cards and stuff, one of the things about it, I always tell you guys, you need to be with the right financial institution, okay? And the reason is because they report to the business credit bureaus. And if you want the back end on how to get access to large amounts of funding, this is the way to do it. That means having a relationship with one of these here banks, then making weekly deposits. That's one of the key metrics in order for you to get high limit business credit cards, because they're continuing to report data on your business credit file. Okay, so now that you understand that, we're going to talk about some of these here business credit cards. And like I said, there's one credit card on here that's not with either of these banks, but they have a waiting list to be on. Now, the first one, let's talk about Navy Federal business credit cards, because I know a lot of people want Navy Federal business cards and stuff like that. And the thing about it, this is not the card that's on the waiting list. It's another card, but I'm gonna show you that. But here's the thing about it. In reference to Navy Federal, you have to be very careful in terms of what type of industry you're in. The reason is because if you're in a certain industry, they won't even open up a business bank account with you. Okay, so you just got to keep that. So if you're in the CBD, cannabis, porn industry, if you're in any type of high risk type of business, transportation is a high risk type of business for Navy Federal. As a matter of fact, I made a video talking about the high risk type of companies that Navy Federal, they will not touch you, okay? As a matter of fact, what I'll do, I'll probably link that video in the bottom of this video so you can actually check that video out, because if you're on that list, it's going to be very hard for you to get access to funding, whether it's with Navy Federal or any of those other financial institutions. Now, let's talk about this Navy Federal Business Credit Card. If you are a member, okay, you have to be a member, and we're going to talk about some of the metrics as well. Now, they pull TransUnion, they pull your personal credit, your TransUnion FICO 9. All right, so their credit card limits can go anywhere from $3,000 up to $15,000, right? However, one of the good things about it is they may also give you a business line of credit for $10,000. So that's how people end up with that $25,000. And I made a video about that. So I'll put that in the link of this video as well. Now, like I said, you must be a member. All right. Now, they do internal scoring, in which I'm finna break that down as well, so you can understand what does that mean. And the average credit score for their business credit card, it's averaging about a 680. Sometimes they'll take a lower score, but the credit score is not one of the biggest factors. Here's the thing that's their biggest factor, the internal score. Now, your internal scoring with Navy Federal goes from 100 to 450. All right, so how do you get to that 450 so that way you're not only getting business credit funding, but personal credit funding and those $25,000 credit limits up to $80,000, right? So here's the thing about it. If you're a part of Navy Federal and you're doing direct deposits, if you have pledge loans, now here's the thing about it. You can have a regular checking account, but I would tell you to get the flagship checking account. Okay, that's the best checking account because again, you want to look at internal scoring because you want the maximum amount of money. Now, also adding to that, you may want to look at their money market accounts. Not saying that you have to have that, but at least two of these four accounts. The flagship checking account is definitely one. The money market account is considerable. The savings account, definitely you want to have that savings account. And then they offer the CDs as well. All right. And then, like I said, if you don't have history with them, and you're a new member, but you have pretty good credit, having those type of accounts would definitely help you get those larger lines of credit. Now, here's something else you have to understand: if you have bad credit, and you're still trying to get that $25,000 credit limits and business credit cards and stuff, they're gonna look at your utilization. So if you already have accounts with them, you want to keep your utilization down to 10% or lower. No insufficient funds and on-time payments. And also having other credit cards with them also helps. That also gets you that 450 internal credit score. Now, that's with Navy Federal. Let's talk about with Chase. All right. So with Chase, these days they're usually pulling two accounts. They used to pull just Experian, but lately people have stated that they have been pulling their Experian and TransUnion FICO 8 bank card. Okay. So now, if you don't know the difference between your FICO 8 and your FICO 9, there's a link in the description. You can actually get your real FICO score. I would tell you to get your real FICO score. Get the $39.99 because you're going to get 28 data points, and then schedule one-on-one consultation with me, and so that I can go over that with you. All right. But with Chase, the Inc. Business Preferred Credit Card, okay, Experian and TransUnion, possibly the FICO 8, their minimum credit limit on this, it's a Visa Signature card. So with most Visa Signature card, I always tell you guys that they usually start about $5,000. Now with some members, they have gotten up to $25,000 off the bat. Now they do charge an annual fee of $95, and the average credit score is between a 680 to 700. Now here's another one, the Inc. Blue Cash credit card. Okay, again, they may pull your Experian and also your TransUnion FICO 8. But their limits start at $3,000 to $25,000. Okay, even though it's a Visa Signature, they may start you out as a lower limit depending on your credit score and depending on if you have bank deposits with them. So if you have a credit history with them, banking history with them, they may give you a higher limit. So that's the reason I showed you that list of banks and stuff, because they're looking at your business credit score as well. Now, there's no annual fee on this, and the average credit score is a 680 to 700. Now, I must say this. Some people that's been with Chase Bank, they have had just the 650, 660, and they were able to get a business credit card with Chase as well, okay? And, of course, Chase has that 524 rule, so just keep that in mind. Now, Capital One Spark Cash, all right? So Capital One Spark Cash, they don't pull your TransUnion FICO 9. They give you your Vantage 3, but they're going to pull your FICO 8. And I apologize, I didn't clean that up. But their minimum scores their minimum limits, credit limits, go from $2,000 up to $30,000. And again, it's all about the relationship. The longer the relationship, the more deposits. That's what they're looking at. Now, some of you all may have this Capital One Spark Business. On old accounts, you see in the notes where with old accounts, they still report it on the personal credit. But with new accounts open, they state that they won't report it on the personal. So, which is a good thing. So if you max out the card, it doesn't reduce your credit limit on the personal side, won't increase your debt to income on the personal side, right? So that's one of the things you have to understand. Now, Here's another thing. All right, they don't charge no annual fee the first year, but then after the first year they charge you 95. Now the average credit score is not a 550 on this card. I'm going to show you the card that I'm talking about that is a Capital One, but their average credit score again. I would say people say, oh, you have to be in the 700s. That's not true. Long as I would say it's safely about a 680 credit score. And like I said, if you have good deposits with them, you may be able to start out with a higher limit business credit card. Now, here's the thing about a Capital One Spark Classic business card. Okay, this is the one that has the 580 credit score. No annual fee. Now, again, they pull FICO 8, and they still report this here to the business credit bureaus, which is important. So if you have bad credit and you're trying to get a credit card, this here Capital One would probably be the one that you want to start with. Okay, I know we're talking about high limit credit cards, but I'm just showing you the back door on how to be able to get access to some of these here credit cards. Now we're going to skip over. Sorry about that, guys. My rabbit is under my feet. Where's she at? Her name is Susie. But anyway, that being said, we're going to switch over and I'm going to show you after this. Now, here's what I wanted to show you. This here card here. Most of the time, this card, for a lot of people, they've been getting above 10,000. Some people, they've been starting them out at average about 15,000. But there's a waiting list for this here card now. There's a waiting list for this card right now. Okay? And it's the First National Bank Evergreen business card. Okay? You can do a pre-approval on it. Average credit score is a 690. Now, you may have to show business documentation. And there's no annual fee on this card. So everybody is rushing to get this card. And that's the reason they have a backlog on this here card. They have a backlog. So you, like the other business credit card, you'll know if you get approved. Well, now they're actually going through paperwork and combing. So that's the reason they have the backlog, because they want to see if you're giving them fictitious or fake documentations and things of that nature. All right? Sorry, guys. I'm still looking for my rabbit because I don't want to step on her or whatever. But let's talk about some of these other business credit cards that even if you have bad credit. So just give me one moment. So talking about bad credit, business credit cards. So if you have bad credit, okay, these are credit cards that usually they're focused more on the functionality of the business, as the business generating revenue and things of that nature, okay? So that being said, Divvy is one of those cards. Now, I wouldn't tell you to go in directly with bad credit. However, if you have bad credit with Divvy, they have a business credit program, business credit builder program. So even if you have bad credit, then they have a business credit program that you have to secure the card or whatever and use it. But the good thing about it, it reports to Dun and Bradstreet and Small Business Financial Exchange. So that's the reason I tell people, even if you have bad credit, still get into their program, because again, because they're reporting, it's still going to give you the opportunity to get more business credit. Okay. Now, here's another thing about Divvy. Usually when people get approved for Divvy, they're starting out $5,000–$10,000, okay? So that's the reason people love this card. Now, here's another card, Capital on Tap. Now, with Capital on Tap, they're not worried about the credit. They're looking at the business. Now, here's the thing about it, guys. They want to see bank statements, financial statements, okay? And sometimes if you just give them bank statements, financial statements, they may ask for invoices. But people have been starting out with Capital One Tap about $20,000 limits, okay? So that's the thing about it. So if you expecting a company to not go off of your credit, make sure that you have good numbers and everything. Another thing that I want to tell you guys is that if you have relationship, if you're receiving deposits from PayPal, from Square or something like that, you also can get funding through them without them looking at your personal credit as well. Now, here's one more. This is the Arco. Arco has two cards. They have the regular gas card and they have the Arco MasterCard. Now, they give high limits on the Arco MasterCard, but here's the thing about it is most people, they try to build up to this card with a whole bunch of net 30s. You don't have to do that. With Arco, their average credit score to get their MasterCard has been around maybe about a 660. Okay, but if you don't have the best credit score, then you may want to try to get their pre-approval Arco regular gas card. But if you're talking about a credit card that you can actually use for purchasing any and everything, then you definitely want to try to go for the Arco MasterCard because you don't need a perfect credit score to get that card, okay? So if you have questions about business credit, about personal credit, business credit funding, personal credit funding, then I would encourage you to click the link and schedule a one-on-one consultation. Thank you.